What's up, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of The Point. And on the show today, we have a new panelist, a returning panelist, and lots of great scintillating topics. Who's on the show today? We have Tony Sam. He's a comedian, writer, and actor. I'm sure you guys remember him from a previous episode where he shared some pretty juicy tidbits about his life.
That's right, I killed it.
Is it good to share juicy tidbits?
Nope.
Nope?
Nope, keep secrets.
All right, and then we also have a new panelist on The Point that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with her. She's a YouTube star by the name of Jaclyn Glenn. She's a political YouTuber and has made lots of really great videos on atheism and religion, so definitely check her out. All right, guys, are you ready for some of the topics today?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get started with some catty drama on Twitter. Ayesha Curry, who is the wife of Stephen Curry in the NBA, recently tweeted something that upset a lot of women who apparently like to be scantily clad. The tweet in question had to do with women bearing too much skin. Here's what Ayesha Curry had to say about it. Everyone's into barely wearing clothes these days, huh? Not my style. I like to keep the good stuff covered up for the one who matters. She followed that up with, just looking at the latest fashion trends, I'll take classy over trendy any day of the week, hashtag Saturday night in sight. Okay, so there were women who were not happy about this because maybe they like to bear it all. Maybe they like to be scantily clad, and they felt as though Ayesha Curry was tearing them down. So people soon started replying directly to Curry with past photographs of the way she's dressed and how it's not necessarily the most conservative attire. Let's take a quick look. There's one one person on Twitter saying, Sissy, do you call this being covered up? Just calling her out. And even people like Chrissy Teigen got involved in this. Chrissy Teigen thought it was hilarious that people were upset and that people were writing articles about this on a Sunday. She wrote, you got people writing articles on a Sunday, with that laughing emoji, which, by the way, is the word of the year, according to Oxford Dictionary. So with all that said, I want to make a really quick point about this. I really don't like it when women judge other women based on what they're wearing or how they look. I think that it does tear them down. But I don't think that there was really anything wrong with Ayesha Curry's tweets. It's the way that she likes to dress. She doesn't like to bear it all. Whatever, do you. If that's the way you feel, that's fine. But if you live in a glass house, just make sure that you cover your bases. And it doesn't seem like she did cover her bases. She obviously has been scantily clad in the past, and then she's judging others for it. So I don't know. I feel like it's okay to like one style and be open about it, but at the same time, if you're going to judge others, make sure you take a good look at yourself. Mm-hmm. That's my point. Jaclyn, what do you think? Make your point.
I think that she definitely was judging others in that tweet. Although she was talking about herself, she was doing it in a way that put her above everyone else. Mm-hmm. And one thing about her tweet that kind of irritated me a little bit is she said something about the one who matters.
Yeah.
And I think the one who matters should not be your significant other, it should be yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're doing something that you're comfortable with yourself, you can, do whatever you want. Don't worry about other people judging you. Don't judge other people.
Yeah.
And you can be classy and, have a cleavage in a dress or wear a tight, like the dress that she had in that photo was a tight dress. And I think it looked classy and I'm not going to judge her for it.
Right.
And I don't think she should judge anyone else.
Yeah. Good point. Tony, as a man, what do you think?
Well, I mean, it's always good to make broad, generalized statements on a public social media platform. And just, no one will have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. No, I mean, it's crazy. I think it also sounded to me a lot like she was making a passive-aggressive comment towards someone specific.
That's probably what it was, to be honest. It seems like there was someone that was getting on her nerves, and she took to Twitter to kind of make a passive-aggressive point about it.
So she made a broad statement, but we know it was aimed at one person, but they don't know who it is.
But you know what? Look. On one hand, I kind of understand where she's coming from, not with the comments about the way other women dress. I mean, it's ridiculous to judge other women. But at the same time, when you are the wife of this very well-known, attractive athlete who's probably getting women throwing themselves at him on a regular basis, you have these moments of insecurity. And to me, that tweet seemed more insecure than anything else, right? It's okay. It's okay to admit that you're insecure, and it's okay to feel that way, especially when Steph Curry is your husband. But you're fine. You're beautiful. Don't compare yourself to other women. Don't judge other women. Just move on with your life.
Well, also, I mean, if you look at her picture, I mean, if she really wants to cover up, she should be wearing like a shroud and a hood.
Like a burqa?
Yeah, like a burqa. Like she's showing up a lot of shoulders.
Well, then maybe Donald Trump will kick her out of the United States. I don't know.
Oh, boy. Not his America.
All right, so here's the personal question for the story. What's your favorite article of clothing on the opposite sex? Tony, I'll start with you.
Well, it's hard to answer this without sounding like a total creep, I suppose.
We like it. We like honesty.
Like, oh, I'm really into shoes. No, I mean, what? And it's easier. It's much easier. I feel like what your options on what you think on a man is attractive is a shirt, pants, shoes. That's it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I guess my favorite piece of clothing would have to be, and don't judge. All right, I'm gonna just say underwear.
Yeah, I mean,
That's so creepy.
that's not creepy at all.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I know you're kidding.
But they gotta be cut like.
That's hilarious. I actually have the same answer. Like, I love boxer briefs, especially if the guy has a nice ass. Like, my man's got a nice ass. So, like, boxer
bikini
briefs.
briefs.
Oh, I've never thought about that before.
Bikini briefs, but like I should shut up.
Jaclyn, what about you?
I don't know. This is a hard question. I mean, maybe guys are cute in sweaters. I think they're cute. Maybe a tie is kind of handsome. So I don't know.
I like her answer.
No one ever says glasses.
Glasses are super sexy. Super sexy.
You know, this
Tony.
shirt in particular, actually. I really like.
All right, guys, well,
Whoa!
tell us what you guys think. What article of clothing do you find sexy on the opposite sex? And also, what do you think about these tweets? Did you find them offensive, or do you think that this is much to do about nothing? Comment in the section below. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon. Recently, there's been a number of hate crimes aimed at Muslims because of the actions of violent, extreme Islamists. Now, as a result, there was a duo on YouTube who wanted to make a statement about religious doctrine. What they wanted to basically prove is that if you take the Bible or you take the Quran, you can probably find pretty violent verses in both of them. Take a look at their experiment.
Als u mijn verordeningen verwerpt en als uw ziel van mijn bepalingen walgt, u zult dan het vlees van uw eigen zonen eten en het vlees van uw eigen dochters zult u eten. Want ik sta niet toe dat een vrouw onderwijs geeft. Dan moet u haar hand afhakken. Laat uw oog haar niet ontzien. Wanneer een man met een andere man slaapt, zij moeten zeker tot de dood gebracht worden.
Wat is jullie eerste reactie? Klinkt echt belachelijk.
Nou, ik wist eigenlijk helemaal niet dat dit ook erin stond.
Hoe kan je hierin geloven? Ongelooflijk vind ik dat eigenlijk.
Handen afhakken en zo, ja, zo zijn zij blijkbaar, maar ik...
Nou, dan hebben we een kleine verrassing voor jou. Want deze prachtige zinnen uit de Koran, die kwamen gewoon rustig uit de Bijbel.
What the fuck? Serieus?
Ja, wat de hel.
Zo, dat had ik niet gedacht. Nee? Dat had ik echt niet gedacht, nee.
Heel mooi verwoorden. Dit is echt ziek. Dit is echt ziek.
What I love about that video, and you should definitely watch the full video, the Dutch YouTubers are known as Dit is Normal. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but that's what they call themselves.
Sounded good to me.
You guys should check it out. And what I love about it is the humility that the participants had after they were called out. And a lot of them were like, oh, wow, I guess I had these preconceived notions, these prejudices that I was completely unaware of. And I really respected that, because a lot of people in the United States right now are so closed-minded and they refuse to believe that religious doctrine is very contradictory, regardless of whether you're a Christian or if you're a Jew or if you're a Muslim. And so if you take religious doctrine and you interpret it literally and you're a fundamentalist, well, you are in favor of all sorts of violent acts. And yes, if you want to have a discussion about which religion is leading to the most acts of violence at this very moment, yeah, we see Islamic extremism as a huge problem. But that's not to say that because Muslims follow this religious text, they're all evil, they're all bad, and we should watch out for every single one of them. That's my take on it. Jaclyn, what do you think? Make your point.
I totally agree with everything that you said, and I love this video because for a long time I've actually wanted to bring parts of the Bible to people that, you know, the parts that they try to gloss over and pretend don't exist and have them react to it. I never really thought of comparing it to the Quran. And I like this video a lot, but one issue that I have with it is like the reactions that people are giving to it. They feel as though it's defending Islam instead of showing that Christianity is almost just as bad, you know, as if you look at the bad parts of it. So I want people to kind of look at this video and keep in mind exactly what you said, that the fundamentals of a lot of modern religions are not good.
They're not good. And another thing to keep in mind is, regardless of what religion someone comes from, the vast majority of people in that religious group have never even read the religious doctrine. Right? They were born into that religion, and so by default, they're kind of forced to believe it, but they're not really told the truth about what their religious doctrine contains. Look, I grew up Christian, and I didn't know about the bad parts of the Bible until I was way older, actually read the Bible and realized, oh my God, this isn't what they taught me in Sunday school. So again, it's all about the way that religious doctrine is interpreted. Tony, make your point.
Well, I think that if you showed people like a Ziggy cartoon and told them that it was the Quran or the Bible, they wouldn't know, because most people, I've never read the Bible. I went to, I was raised Catholic, and, I don't remember anything from it, but I do know that both of these things, like the Quran and the Bible, they're written thousands of years ago, and there's a lot of terrible shit, you can bleep that, in both of them.
Yep.
And so I think, we all like to forget, and we all like to think we're better than other people, depending on what we believe in. And I think that they both have all their problems.
That's
and
exactly
I think
right.
that, I loved the video. I thought it was great.
It was really good. Great experiment. Now, where does your moral compass evolve from? I don't know if you're religious now, Tony. I know that Jaclyn's an atheist, I'm an atheist, and a question that we get quite a bit is, from religious people specifically, is, well, if you're not religious, where do you get your morality from? So I'm really curious to hear your answers. While you think about that, Jaclyn, let me know.
I'm offended, first of all, that they use the word evolve. Just kidding. Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of people who are religious like to cite their religion as the basis for their morality, which I think is almost kind of silly, because like what we were just saying, the fundamentals of a lot of these religions are pretty terrible. So if you follow them, you wouldn't be viewed, at least by modern standards, as a very moral person at all. So a lot of these people use some inherent morality, which I would like to call secular morality, to filter through these religious holy books to cherry pick the parts that they think are good. So what are you using to be able to do that? So there's something already within you that's able to do that, and I think it's pretty much just based off of culture and the society that you grow up in, and how you were raised, and your family's teachings and what you've learned. I mean, like, it's more of a nurture type of thing.
Yeah, I feel like morality is very much tied to empathy. And if you have the ability to empathize, you have the ability to be a moral person, because you can put yourself in someone else's shoes and really understand what it's like to be treated in a certain way. So how do I judge whether or not something is right or wrong? I put myself in the other person's shoes and I see whether or not I would like being treated in one way or another. And also, it's just common sense, right? Like, don't murder people, don't hurt people, don't steal from people. Those are not things that I need to rely on religion to really fully understand. Tony, what about you?
Well, I like to think that my moral compass, it's formed from all the TV shows that I watch.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
So whatever, I'm watching Sons of Anarchy, that's the way I...
That jacks his ass, by the way.
Oh, man. You know what I mean? No, I think that, life, I think your moral compass comes through how you live your life. And, we're all making mistakes. I'm going to make a lot more mistakes, but it's what you do and you learn from your wrongs that make you a good person. And I think, like you said, like your family, your friends, the people you surround yourself with, those all help you develop a moral compass. And, I'm just a good dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it has to do with who you are as a person, but also just your ability to learn from past mistakes and want to be a good person, right?
Yeah.
I don't think people are inherently evil and they have to rely on religion to, like, correct their wrongs. I think people are usually good and they want to do the right thing, and we're a product of our environment. Anyway, tell us what you guys think about this. Where did you develop your morality from? And also, what do you make of this experiment? Do you think that it was a good experiment, or do you think that it's an unfair interpretation of Christianity? Comment in the section below. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon. Everyone knows that marijuana is very much linked to something known as the munchies, right? You smoke a little weed and all of a sudden you want to eat a lot of chocolate or ice cream or stuff that you just shouldn't eat. I speak from personal experience. Now, there is one study, though, that says that there's some correlation between those who smoke marijuana and lowered risks of obesity. Now, I know it sounds crazy, but it was published in the Journal of Health Economics, and it states who allow medical marijuana saw a reduction in the number of overweight people. The researchers say that these states that have legalized recreational marijuana and medical marijuana saw a 2 to 6% reduction in the probability of obesity. This all sounds very weird because, again, you smoke weed and the first thing you want to do is eat really bad food. But what they noticed is people who tend to smoke marijuana drink a lot less. And if you drink a lot less, well, then you're consuming a recreational product that doesn't have any calories versus consuming a recreational product that has a lot of calories. You drink alcohol, of course, you're packing on the pounds because it's high in caloric value. Now, I'd be curious to see how this plays out for people who don't do any type of drug versus people who only smoke marijuana, because I'm guessing that the results would be a little different. But it is an interesting outcome, and I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about it. Tony, make your point.
Yeah, I guess I don't know all the parameters of the study, and I don't know what their particular controls are, but maybe these people have just high metabolism, and it doesn't matter whether they smoke or not. They're just always going to be thin.
Well, here's another thing to keep in mind. Right now, the states that are more likely to legalize marijuana for either recreational use or medical use are more liberal states.
They seem pretty healthy, maybe a healthier conscious.
Yeah, so they found a correlation which could just mean that there's a coincidence. Here's some more of the findings. The findings also showed places that embraced medical weed had roughly $58 to $115 in reductions in per person healthcare costs, okay? So, it could just mean that the culture in that given state just tends to be healthier overall.
Yeah.
Like I think of California, and I think of Oregon, and I think of states like that. It's a little different from Mississippi or Oklahoma.
Right, they're munching on like granola and rice cakes. But
Right.
like if you did that in like they legalized it in Illinois, holy, you'd have just people dropping like flies because pizza and hot dogs and roast beef.
Yeah, Chicago, man.
I know. How do you feel about their pizza, Anna?
I don't like deep dish pizza. We'll get into that discussion later. Jaclyn, what do you think? Make your point.
I mean, I think that if people are smoking instead of drinking, it's going to help you lose weight just because alcohol is very unhealthy and it is something that makes people gain weight pretty quickly. I wouldn't suggest smoking marijuana as a weight loss program.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't knock it till you tried it.
I have tried it.
No, I mean the program.
Okay. Well, okay. But I mean, overall, I think smoking marijuana can have a lot of health benefits. I mean, they use it to treat glaucoma. It prevents cancer from spreading. Actually, I think I've heard that it reverses some of the negative effects of smoking tobacco.
That's crazy.
Which is very interesting. Obviously, people use it for pain and things like that. And I don't think anyone's reported to have died from smoking.
Nope.
And obviously that's something that happens from alcohol. So overall, I think it's
it's relatively harmless,
Yeah.
right? And I say relatively harmless because it's not like it's a completely harmless drug, but it's certainly better than consuming alcohol or some of the other products that are legal and readily available. All right, so when did you first start drinking or smoking or doing recreational stuff? Tony?
Well, I did. I mean, I tried it in college. I started smoking in college. It wasn't really for me. I have terrible asthma. So, but I'll eat it. I mean,
okay.
I'll eat the shit out of it.
But haven't you had weird paranoid panic attacks after eating it? Because I have.
I became fascinated with my bathroom faucet. When I stared at that, the water was running. That's another story for another time.
It's so beautiful. It's like a built-in waterfall.
Right? Life, man.
Jaclyn, what about you?
I probably started drinking in high school, and I didn't smoke until college because I grew up very conservative, so I thought it was like this evil drug for a long time. And I was like, oh. But yeah, it was college.
Yeah, for me, I feel like, I know it sounds crazy, but the DARE program, as ridiculous as it was, worked for me up until college. College was when I kind of let loose. And even then, I wasn't really ever much of a drinker. I would smoke very occasionally, and I'm glad that I waited until my brain was fully developed because, you hear about teenagers doing it, and it does have a negative impact on younger people. It makes them a little less ambitious, and I worry about things like that, right? But when you're already an adult, you're already in college, you're a little more responsible, I feel like it's okay to experiment. It wasn't until fairly recently that it became more of a regular thing, and that's because it calms me the fuck down after a long-ass day of work, you know what I mean?
You just Netflix and chill with it.
Netflix and chill, yeah. And then, by the way, I get the worst munchies, which is why I'm trying to curb my marijuana use because I don't want to gain weight before my wedding. So, anyway, guys, tell us when you started drinking and smoking or experimenting. Maybe you tried something different. Comment in the section below. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon. Every once in a while, radical feminists get a bad rap because of some things that they do for shock value. Well, Kristen Clifford is no exception. She is the creator of the Pussy Bow. What is the Pussy Bow, you must wonder? Well, it is a 100% silk scarf that's being sold for $50 a piece, and the print that you see on it is actually the inside of Kristen Clifford's vagina. So she did this performance art where she put a camera inside of her. And then she allowed the patrons of this, museum to see what the inside of her vagina looks like. She was actually very surprised because there were some hues of purple in there that she didn't expect. And she wrote about it. And she's saying that the whole point of this is to raise awareness about reproductive rights, which I'm not buying, but we'll get to that in just a second. Now, she's donating 10%, only 10% of the proceeds to Planned Parenthood, and she's using the images that she took of her vagina to print out these scarves and sell them. All right, here's a quote from her where she's trying to tie this project to reproductive rights. She says, "The photo of my vagina's interior represents so much to me. I explored this space as a child. I have had much pleasure in this space, but also this is sad. Penises I didn't want or like were forced violently into this space. I gave this space to humans that didn't deserve it, but I also shared this space with love and excitement and even pushed tiny mammals out of this space. This space grounds me and connects me to my mother and her mother and her mother, which I think is pretty cool." Later on, she talks about how, reproductive rights are under attack in the U.S. by conservatives, and she does things like this to kind of raise awareness about that. The reason why I say I don't buy it is because these types of projects that are done for shock value actually distract from real serious issues like reproductive rights. And I also don't like that when, a feminist like this does something like this, all of a sudden people who lack any nuance or understanding of nuance think that she's a clear representative of all feminists. She's not. I don't believe in the shock value. I don't believe in doing things like this. I believe in raising awareness about issues that are important to both men and women, but doing so in a way that's not going to distract from the message. Maybe that's a little harsh, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Jaclyn, make your point.
Where do you start?
Man, it's to me, my first reaction was like, that's really weird. But at the same time, everyone has things that are important to them. And, reading what she had to say, obviously she's gone through some things in her life. So if this is helping her deal with it, that's good for her. As far as it looking like a vagina, it doesn't really, you can zoom in to a pixel of anything and be like, oh, this is pink, and then you just make it pink, or oh, look, purple hues, or whatever she was excited about. It doesn't really look like anything. So even though it's from something that is, has shock value, looking at it, it's like, okay, it's a pink scarf.
Yeah, you make a really good point about just accepting the fact that this is how she expresses herself, right? I feel like maybe I'm being a little too judgmental about it. But again, I just feel like it's being done for shock value. Pussy bow, really? Pussy bow? Everyone's going to talk about the pussy bow and how this is the inside of your vagina instead of talking about the issues that really matter. Again, it distracts from the message. Tony, what do you think?
That's right. Well, I don't think she's as much of a feminist as an artist that wants to get some attention. You know what I mean? I think, and her choice of wording is weird on some parts of that. I don't know if you could show it again, but the first thing I thought of when she's pushing tiny mammals out of her space are just like, wow, what are the little rodents or something?
I was thinking of Richard Gere putting gerbils up his ass.
That's right.
Yeah, which by the way, there's still no proof that that's ever happened, and I don't mean to defame the man, okay?
Poor Richard Gere.
Yeah.
But can we see the scarf?
Yeah, it's like a pixel.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's pinks and purples, all these wonderful colors.
I wouldn't really be surprised if the inside of my vagina looked like that. That's actually what I think it would look like.
You think your pussy bow would look better?
I don't know if it would look better. I think that, I don't know, I try to stay healthy and take care of it,
right. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm all for it. But what if some guy started making dick ties or something?
Typical patriarchal answer.
Right.
That's what that is.
She would probably be offended by something like that.
I mean, I wouldn't want that either. But
All
I
right.
actually thought that looked good.
So here's the question. How would you express your views on feminism, Tony?
Well, what do you think I'm going to say? Well, I'm glad I got this platform to talk about women. I think it's great. I mean, I think, I think men and women should be treated equal.
Yep.
And as far as, this woman, I think it's great, and I think hey, love, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to say. It's that we're all on the same playing field. I think we should all be treated equal.
Jaclyn, what do you think?
I mean, I would say the same thing. I think men and women should be treated equally.
That's not what you said before the show.
Of course. But unfortunately, feminism has taken a bit of a turn from that. It's not just equality. It's like turned into something that is very controversial, and I wish that it could just be like a normal thing that people didn't try to distract from by doing ridiculous things.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there are extremes on both sides, and so it's a very complex issue because even though I identify as a feminist, there are lots of feminists that actually can't stand me because they think that I deviated from what the core message is. But the thing is, the core message is really just equality for men and women, okay? And then there are all these little fringe issues that I disagree with, like, oh, if you're a woman, don't wear high heels and don't embrace femininity. We're the same and we should be treated. But no, I don't think we are the same. I think women are different, right? And it's okay to embrace that. But when it comes to getting paid the same for the same amount of work, I think that we have something that we can actually have a discussion about.
That is right.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, tell me what you think. Comment in the section below. Maybe you have some controversial views on this, and I want to read them. We'll see you soon. There are specialized dating sites for everyone. There's Christian Mingle, my personal favorite, Farmers Only. But what about all those Mickey Mouse fans out there? Well, if you're a huge Disney fan, you're in luck because now there's mousemingle.com. For only $12.55 a month, you can join as a member, and then you can mingle with other people who are obsessed with Disneyland, Disney World, Disney in general. Dave Tavris is the person who came up with this idea, and here's what he has to say. There are a lot of people who don't live near a Disney park who want to find that magical relationship. But for those who do live near a park, they often like to go multiple times a month. That sounds fucking terrible. If you communicate with someone on mousemingle.com and want somewhere to meet, the parks are a great place. I'm glad that there's a market for this out there. I'm glad that people are meeting one another based on their own interests. This is not my gripe with this dating site. It's more a gripe of Disneyland, Disney World. It's like hell on earth. Okay, I don't understand people who want to be in an overcrowded, overpriced park with a bunch of children yelling and screaming and farting and making your life miserable. I get it, Disney's cool, Disney's awesome. You know what's awesome? Epcot in Florida, which is part of the whole Disney experience. But that's about it. That's my take on it. What do you guys think? Tony, make your point.
You made it sound like you're stuck in an elevator
Yeah,
the whole time.
that's what it feels like.
Can I just make a quick point? It has nothing to do with anything about this, but could we look at the outside of the Magic Kingdom again? It looks like it was decorated with that woman's vagina. You see the colors?
No.
He's talking about the pussy bow.
The pussy bow. It looks like the pussy bow. And
Yes.
I feel like her vagina was used for the pinks on the set.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways.
Well, now you got pussy on the mind. That's what's happening with you.
My family seems to really like Disney and Disneyland, and I don't understand it. Like, they are obsessed.
Yep.
Like, my brother every year will take his family for weeks at a time to Disney, and I just don't get it. Like, and they have so much Disney stuff around their house. It's weird. It's weird to me, and I don't know how sometimes I'm related to them, but they really love it. And I mean, I guess if that's what gets you off, is Disney. I mean, because this makes me think like a dating site for Disney fans. Like, what are they? Is it cosplay? Are they wearing like, you be Mickey, I'll be Minnie this time?
They probably. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh boy.
There's nothing wrong with that though.
No, I mean that's
kinky sex
another
life.
story. I guess.
Jaclyn, make your point.
So I actually brought this up last night to my roommate, and she's on the site. She just downloaded it, and she's like, oh yeah, it's great. But I kind of had the same thought as you. Is it something that, is just like people who are like, they like Disney or they like Disney?
Right.
Like what?
Like it becomes a sexual
Yeah.
fetish.
Yeah, I kind of wondered about that a little bit. And then also, like, is it going to be less creepy? Because if you go on other dating sites, a lot of times the men are like, they'll send you like very, sexual things right off the bat.
Right.
I mean,
Maybe
every dating site.
Yes.
and
They're
maybe,
creeps.
Yeah.
so would this like be less of that because it's Disney and they're like nicer, or would it be like, so you like Disney?
Even creepier?
Yeah.
Hey,
I
let's
don't
get
know.
goofy. You want to come over and get goofy?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, I don't know. Don't knock it till you try it, right? Whatever. I think this is fine. I think $12.55 is a little steep for a dating site, but it's cheaper than Match.com. Match.com's like $35 a month, isn't it? I don't know. I was on Match.com like years and years ago, 2007.
I only go on the free ones.
The free ones are great.
No,
Yeah.
I don't know.
You've met some great people on the free ones.
Oh well, yeah, but now for me, if I was on Tinder, it would be like $30.
Yes, I know. That's fucked up.
Behold the ravages of age.
All right. One last personal question. What customized dating site would be perfect for you, Jaclyn?
I don't.
Atheists only.
I don't know.
It's
How about
a real one.
Is it?
I think
is it
so.
really?
exists?
Is an
I think
atheist
so,
dating?
yeah.
I don't know if I would want to do that. How about IWon'tCheatOnYou.com?
Yeah,
that'd be a
that's-
great one if I could find that one.
Well, I feel like membership would be scarce on that one.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know, just saying. What about you, Tony?
Well, I've given this a lot of thought, and your atheist one, I would call it like date theist. If I
But
had
then
it.
you're dating a theist, so that kind of sounds different.
yeah.
Oh, you don't believe in dating? Date theist. Well, that's another issue. But mine, because I really like scuba diving,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
and I'd have a scuba diving date site, and I'd call it In Deep.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Huh? I'm in deep. But also, there's so many, you could just go ways with it. Like, there's so many innuendos with diving. Like,
Yeah, like Wet and Wild.
like diving and
Yeah.
getting wet.
Yeah.
I mean, copyright TS 2015, but that's what I would do.
All right, cool. I feel like the perfect dating site for me probably already exists. I haven't looked into it, but it would be like Latinos, and that's it.
Oh,
And people think I'm racist for saying that. It's my.
she likes Latinos.
It's just my sexual preference. Like, I can't force myself to be attracted to. I've been attracted to other ethnicities, of course, but my go-to for some reason has always been Latinos.
Spicy.
They're just fucking hot, man. And they're passionate and sexy, and I don't know.
All right.
Okay.
We're convinced.
Anyway,
We're convinced.
you guys tell me what you think. Comment in the section below. What is the perfect dating site for you? And also, would you be interested in trying Mouse Mingle? This has basically been a big ad for them. So I'm really curious to see what you guys think. Comment in the section below. Tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon. All right, guys, I want to give our panelists an opportunity to tell you more about themselves and where you can find their work. Tony, Sam?
Guys, I'd love you to check out my my album. It's called Scaredy Cat. You can get it on Amazon, iTunes, anywhere.
There it is. There it is.
Anywhere fine comedy albums are sold. You can follow me on Twitter at ToeKneeSam. Like toe, knee.
Got it. Got it. That's
You
real.
get it?
That's
Did you
real
get it,
clever.
Anna?
Got it.
Did
Got
you?
it. So clever. All right, and Jaclyn Glenn.
You said it. You can just find my name, Jaclyn Glenn, on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, everything. I've got the same handle, so it's pretty convenient.
All right.
Talk about social issues and atheism. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm Ana Kasparian. You guys can check me out Monday through Friday on The Young Turks, youtube.com/The Young Turks, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And, of course, on Twitter at Ana Kasparian, Instagram, Ana Kasparian TYT. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember to comment in the section below. And remember, never be afraid to make your point. Hey guys, I have an awesome new announcement for you. Turns out that The Point will be hosted on the video platform watchable.com. All you have to do is go to watchable.com and search for The Point, and boom, you'll see our videos, you'll see our content, and we really want to make sure that The Point is available on all these different and awesome, great platforms. So take a look, tell us what you think, and we'll see you soon.
Social media platform, and just no one will have a problem with that. No, I mean, it's crazy. I think it also sounded to me a lot like she was making a passive-aggressive comment towards someone specific.
That's probably what it was, to be honest. It seems like there was someone that was getting on her nerves, and she took to Twitter to kind of make a passive-aggressive point about it.
So she made a broad statement, but we know it was aimed at one person, but they don't know who it is.
But you know what? Look, on one hand, I kind of understand where she's coming from, not with the comments about the way other women dress. I mean, it's ridiculous to judge other women. But at the same time, when you are the wife of this very well-known, attractive athlete who's probably getting women throwing themselves at him on a regular basis, you have these moments of insecurity. And to me, that tweet seemed more insecure than anything else, right? It's okay. It's okay to admit that you're insecure, and it's okay to feel that way, especially when Steph Curry is your husband. But you're fine. You're beautiful. Don't compare yourself to other women. Don't judge other women. Just move on with your life.
Well, also,
doesn't like to bear it all. Whatever. Do you. If that's the way you feel, that's fine. But if you live in a glass house, just make sure that you cover your bases. And it doesn't seem like she did cover her bases. She obviously has been scantily clad in the past, and then she's judging others for it. So I don't know. I feel like it's okay to like one style and be open about it. But at the same time, if you're going to judge others, make sure you take a good look at yourself. That's my point. Jaclyn, what do you think? Make your point.
I think that she definitely was judging others in that tweet. Although she was talking about herself, she was doing it in a way that put her above everyone else. And one thing about her tweet that kind of irritated me a little bit is she said something about the one who matters.
Yeah.
And I think the one who matters should not be your significant other, it should be yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're doing something that you're comfortable with yourself, you can, do whatever you want. Don't worry about other people judging you. Don't judge other people.
Yeah.
And you can be classy and, have a cleavage in a dress or wear a tight, like the dress that she had in that photo was a tight dress. And I think it looked classy and I'm not going to judge her for it.
Right.
And I don't think she should judge anyone else.
Good point. Tony, as a man, what do you think?
Well, I mean, it's always good to make broad, generalized statements on a public.
Just looking at the latest fashion trends, I'll take classy over trendy any day of the week. # Saturday night in sight. Okay, so there were women who were not happy about this because maybe they like to bear it all. Maybe they like to be scantily clad, and they felt as though Ayesha Curry was tearing them down. So people soon started replying directly to Curry with past photographs of the way she's dressed and how it's not necessarily the most conservative attire. Let's take a quick look. There's one one person on Twitter saying, Sissy, do you call this being covered up? Just calling her out. And even people like Chrissy Teigen got involved in this. Chrissy Teigen thought it was hilarious that people were upset and that people were writing articles about this on a Sunday. She wrote, you got people writing articles on a Sunday with that laughing emoji, which, by the way, is the word of the year, according to Oxford Dictionary. So with all that said, I want to make a really quick point about this. I really don't like it when women judge other women based on what they're wearing or how they look. I think that it does tear them down. But I don't think that there was really anything wrong with Ayesha Curry's tweets. It's the way that she likes to dress. She does. What's up, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of The Point. And on the show today, we have a new panelist, a returning panelist, and lots of great scintillating topics. Who's on the show today? We have Tony Sam. He's a comedian, writer, and actor. I'm sure you guys remember him from a previous episode where he shared some pretty juicy tidbits about his life.
That's right, I killed it.
Is it good to share juicy tidbits?
Nope.
Nope?
Nope, keep secrets.
All right, and then we also have a new panelist on The Point that I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with her. She's a YouTube star by the name of Jaclyn Glenn. She's a political YouTuber and has made lots of really great videos on atheism and religion, so definitely check her out. All right, guys, are you ready for some of the topics today? Mm-hmm. All right, let's get started with some catty drama on Twitter. Ayesha Curry, who is the wife of Stephen Curry in the NBA, recently tweeted something that upset a lot of women who apparently like to be scantily clad. The tweet in question had to do with women bearing too much skin. Here's what Ayesha Curry had to say about it. Everyone's into barely wearing clothes these days, huh? Not my style. I like to keep the good stuff covered up for the one who matters. She followed that up with...
I mean, if you look at her picture, if she really wants to cover up, she should be wearing like a shroud and a hood.
Like a burqa?
Yeah, like a burqa. Like she's showing
well,
up a
then
lot
maybe
of
Donald Trump will
shoulders.
kick her out of the United States. I don't know.
Oh boy, not in his America.
All right, so here's the personal question for the story. What's your favorite article of clothing on the opposite sex? Tony, I'll start with you.
Well, it's hard to answer this without sounding like a total creep, I suppose.
We like it.
Anything
We
you
like
say,
honesty.
Like, oh, I'm really into shoes. No, what? And it's easier. It's much easier. I feel like your options on what you think on a man is attractive is a shirt, pants, shoes. That's it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I guess my favorite piece of clothing would have to be, and don't judge. All right, I'm gonna just say underwear.
Yeah,
That's so creepy.
That's not creepy at all.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I know you're kidding.
But they gotta be cut like.
That's hilarious. I actually have the same answer. Like, I love boxer briefs.